everyone, and welcome to Awaken to Happiness Now. I'm your host, Laura Canfield. Thank you so much for being here. This is day 2 of season 12 of Awaken to Happiness Now, and the theme for this season is Live Your Prosperous Life, or Live a Prosperous Life. And so I'm so excited that my good friend Sharon Hess is here to talk about prosperity, abundance, and how self-love and abundance, they truly are connected. So we're going to talk about that. And Sharon's going to be taking some live caller questions as well to talk about what's going on for you, maybe with your abundance and self-love. Is there a connection? Where is it lacking? Where is that disconnect? And we're going to be talking about the connection between self-love and abundance, how you may believe in lack and not even know it, and why we block abundance. And we're going to learn where manifesting really happens. So there's for me, I think it's going to be a really powerful call because we're talking about self-love, and that's something, we're all working on. I'm still working on it, as I'm sure you are, but it's so important. The self-love piece, I think, is the most important piece. And I know that since I moved more into my heart space, moved more into accepting myself and loving myself, really, honestly, my life is completely transformed. And so I try and live from that space now and bring attention to my heart and loving myself on a regular, continual basis, right? And so I know that self-love is, well, to me, it is the most important part. Because when you love yourself, you can love others more freely. And when you love yourself, you can accept yourself. And when you love yourself, I don't know, somehow life just flows more easily. So I'm excited to talk to Sharon about that. And for those of you who may not know Sharon, she's a good friend of mine. She's been on our show many times before. And Sharon's gift and expertise is helping others to see how they can create the success they want in life and business. And while creating and running million-dollar businesses, she's also studying and teaching universal laws and how they apply in our everyday lives. So Sharon now blends her life experience, business know-how, and understanding of universal law into strategies that bring results. Her keen insight helps those that have a bigger vision for themselves experience how to create an amazing life and business at the level they desire. So Sharon believes that we all have hidden potential and will help you find your path to abundance while using the compassion and humor she is well known for. And I vouch for that. I've had sessions with Sharon myself. Personally, we talk all the time, and it's we have a beautiful rapport and conversation and relationship, and much compassion. And I always have so much fun talking to her. So Sharon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And I will just say, like attracts like, so that's why we're connected.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like some of the guests that I have on my show, I have a real relationship with, like I can call you and I can talk to you, or you will just call me and say, hey, what's going on, because you'll see something and then want to chat about it. And it's wonderful that we can have that, so it's not just a one-time thing when you're on the show, but it's a regular relationship, a regular rapport. And I think that's important in this industry. And, for all of us to have that network of friends, that support system, that it's always there looking out for each other, right? That's an abundance mindset, too.
Exactly. And I'd like to address something that's popped in my head. And usually when it does, there's a reason for me to go into it for somebody that's going, either listening now or that's going to listen to this call. Mm-hmm. But I always, wherever I worked and whoever I worked for, I always felt like I had a quote-unquote friendship with them as well. And I remember I had a friend, and she used to always fuss at me. She'd go, business is business and friendship is friendship. But that wasn't true for me, okay? Mm-hmm. So the important thing is you have to honor who you are on a soul level. And if who you are on a soul level, if it's important for you to work with and support people that you feel a kindred spirit to, and people that you feel are someone you would like, be friends with outside of work. And don't get me wrong, not everybody is, and I totally understand that. But if that's a part of who you are, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And since we're talking about self-love today, which a belated happy Valentine's Day to everyone, Because, but, a part of self-love is really honoring who you are and what makes you tick, and and I'm talking about like what makes you feel good, what brings you peace, love, and joy in your life, because whatever brings you peace, love, and joy is going to also bring you abundance.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And, so we're going to get started into the meat of the topic, in just a second, but I wanted everyone to just, before we get started, I'd just like to center everyone in their heart space and just be open to the energies of the call, the wisdom that Sharon and I and, the whole universe is sharing with us during this call. I already opened up sacred space. So we are, in a healing circle, which I like to call a radiant light healing circle. So, just breathe in this energy, breathe in this peace, breathe in this love and support that is available for you right now. And during the call, from time to time, take a deep breath into your heart space and radiate that love out to everyone listening now on the call and listening later on the call. Okay, so have the highest intention for yourself and for everyone else who's listening, so that we may all benefit from the wisdom, the love, the teachings, the energy that we're all going to receive and are already receiving from this call. So, yay. So Sharon, let's start talking about, self-love and abundance, right? So what is the correlation? I mean, we've talked about this before. I teach about this as well, as do you. And, sometimes it just seems like, or it can seem like it's just a concept, so how can you bring that, practical flavor into it? So what is the correlation between self-love and abundance, and how do you see it personally in your life?
Okay, well, that brings up, there's a whole lot of things to talk about in that arena. But the biggest thing is, it's funny when you were talking at the beginning before, you even introduced me. I don't remember what it was you said, but the thought popped in my head. RuPaul has a famous quote: "If you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?" And I just absolutely, excuse me if anybody's offended by cursing, excuse me, but that's so true. It's like, if you don't love you, then you're not going to love other people, and you're not going to love the things that you do, and you're not going to love the things in your life, and you're certainly not going to understand the whole concept of gratitude. Now, what I've come to learn is that, so gratitude is probably one of the closest energies to our God self that there is. And that's why there's all these teachings about, sit in gratitude, like Oprah was famous for teaching people to do their gratitude journal and to sit in gratitude. So if you think about the energy of it, okay, and I'll just say right here, God for me is just total unconditional love energy. So if God offends you in any way, and I don't mean offend you, but I know a lot of times because of our religious upbringing, God has like some kind of, weird concept in our brain that we just can't grasp. So when I say the word God, replace it with whatever works for you: universe, energy, love energy, divine source, whatever it is that you resonate with, that feels good for you, okay? But, okay, so if God is just this total unconditional love energy, if you think about that, then there's nothing negative or unpleasant attached to love energy, okay? So if you're sitting in gratitude, if you think about the energy of gratitude, there is nothing negative or unpleasant attached to that energy, right? Right. So since we're all trying to find our way back home to our God self and to recognizing and feeling and understanding truly the co-creator with God that we truly are, then that gratitude energy has that same feeling and understanding. So every time you sit in gratitude, you are actually sitting in your God energy. And, we all know that whatever we do and experience and express magnifies, right? So that's why it's so important for you to have gratitude for yourself, first and foremost, your life and the people and things around you and about you. Because here's this is a good place to put this really important key to happiness in life, business, anything, okay, is to totally understand that, first of all, you're the one totally in control of it, okay? And so that means that you can actually pick and choose the energy that you're going to, how do I say this, express and put forth every day and in everything that you do. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, and I kind of veered down another little path there. So bring me back home. Bring me back home, Alara.
Well, it's hard because then I get carried away on your path too. It's like, oh, yeah, this is a great topic. This is a great, subject that we're talking about. So I love it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing too with the self-love and abundance. Okay. I'll kind of go back to that and put it like in practical sense. All right. So if you don't really love yourself, and here's the thing. It's like a lot of times people will think, well, that's very selfish. Well, there's a big difference between self-love and being selfish. Okay. I'll tell you, this is funny because it just popped in my head. When I first started studying A Course in Miracles, and that was the beginning of my spiritual path, was A Course in Miracles. My son was in elementary school, and I remember one of the teachers there, they had a little group that some of the teachers were doing a discussion group together. And one of the teachers told me, she said, so I went to one of those meetings, but it's all about being selfish. I said, what do you mean selfish? Well, it's all self-focused. Okay? And I understand the reason she felt that way is because that's what she had been taught. So we really need to challenge and look at what are the things and beliefs that we're holding on to, because that's what we were taught. So a lot of times in religious backgrounds or any other kind of backgrounds, you're taught that only focusing on yourself is very selfish, okay? But when you totally and completely understand, the love that you truly are, there's nothing selfish about it, because you would never, ever, ever even dream of doing something at another's expense.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what our fear is. We fear, well, if I just focus on me, then I'm going to forget. No, it's not about forgetting other people. Okay? Because when you're in that self-love type of energy, then you understand, you really get the whole idea that we're all one. And that's a very high-level esoteric concept, and a lot of people struggle with that. Okay, you can say the words, we are all one, we are all connected, but then what does that mean? Somebody does something you don't like, or they act a way that's, doesn't go with your belief system and what you think, and you in no way, shape, or form believe that you're connected to that person, right?
Yeah,
because you don't want to be.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be. So the whole thing, you have to really, really sit with this and dig inside of yourself. Do you think that self-love means being selfish? Because your ego will kind of play with you and convince you that that's the case, right? Yeah. Because that keeps you stuck in your separateness. And when I say what I mean by separateness is, of course, in Miracles terminology, it's because we think that we separate it from God. Then we have a dual thought system. We have our ego mind that thinks this is all we are, is this one separate little self, sitting here like talking to you, that I'm just it. I'm not connected to anyone or anything. And then I have my divine self that remembers that I'm not only connected to my Creator, but I'm connected to everything that my Creator created. And that's just such a powerful feeling of love when you realize and recognize that.
Yeah, that is. And it's hard for us to feel that or really experience that. Sometimes the easiest way for me to experience that really is being out in nature, right? Or being with little children. When you're with children and they're laughing and giggling and playing and whatever, that's when you can feel that joy, you can feel that connection. And when you're in nature and you're walking around in the woods,
Right.
you can feel that connection, right? But it's hard when you're in your
Right, but
day-to-day
here's when you know that you really truly are walking your spiritual path day in, day out, is when you can be with that person that you don't really like so much and bring yourself to that feeling. Okay?
Right.
So
Yeah.
so you have to realize like emotions are actually energy in motion. Okay? So if you're emotionally sitting and feeling distraught, around with someone, remember, I'm laughing because I didn't like this idea, but you know what? It's so true. Okay, so our biggest challenges are our greatest teachers. It's easy to love the lovable, but when we can love the not so lovable, at least in our mind, that's when we really get that connection one step further. If you just look at it like getting one step further closer, I'm sorry, not further away, one step closer to your God self, okay? And one of the things that helps me with that, I'll share with the audience, is Course in Miracles teaches that, and just so you know, I mean, I say A Course in Miracles because that's where I learned it, but all great spiritual teachings teach you the same thing, right? Because truth is truth, or wisdom. But, okay, so A Course in Miracles teaches that you only ever receive one of two things from anyone. It's either love or it's a call for love.
Oh.
So if you can look at someone when they're acting out or, like just being a real pill about something, and if you can stop and you can really connect to your God self and go, oh, my, this is just a call for love. In that moment when you do that, you see the God within them because you are recognizing that that is not their truth. And when you can do that, then that reinforces the God within you. And that's some powerful mojo right there, let me tell you.
I was just going to say that is such a powerful statement. Thank you for that. Yeah.
So just remember that it's either love or a call for love. Now, the caveat to that is you are supposed to return both with love. Now, if you don't have self-love and you don't love yourself and you don't work on that whole connecting to your God self, there's no way in hell you'll ever be able to do that. It's just flat out. It ain't going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it is not go full circle here. That is why it is so not selfish to work on your self-love.
And working on your self-love, there are many, many ways. And, when I first started on my spiritual path, or shortly after I had my kids and so on, I wanted to go to India, to meditate. I wanted to go to see certain people, to learn from them. And at the time, my mother was like so against it. She goes, you can't. How can you go? How can you leave the kids? You can't leave the kids. You have a duty. You have to be there with the kids. And, she was upset with me for years. She didn't get it, but it was because she was coming from a place of hurting, because my dad had gone away for months and years at a time when he was, on his spiritual path. And so she thought that I was going to do the same. So I didn't do that, obviously. But so for me, doing these things, learning more, was for me an act of self-love. I needed that for myself. So that is one act of self-love. But it's many things, It could be getting together with friends. It could whatever makes you feel good.
Right, but your mother was only. But see, there again, that was a call for love because your mother was only coming at you from her level of understing. She had felt
abandoned, so she didn't want that for my kids, which I totally get,
Right.
It's like, okay, I understood that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I want people to understand this. When we go on a self-development path, okay, and when we work on going within ourselves and healing, the many wounds that we may have within, It doesn't have to be an unpleasant thing. You don't have to sit on a mountaintop and nasal gaze in order
No.
to get there, right?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. It's like when you bring your divinity into humanity, that's when you're really doing what you came here to do. Okay? So you don't have to go on a pilgrimage. You don't have to take a long journey. You know, you can sit and do it no matter where you are. You can connect to God no matter where you are or what you're doing. And I think that's kind of the point. Why do we do any of this? You know, I mean, seriously, why do we do any of this? Because we want to be happy in life.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the thing, when you're just happy in life, then you are connected to your God self. You know, but our illusionary world, which that's the other thing. It's like, okay, so because we think we separate it from God, we think all of this is real and all of this is important. And so we live within an illusion, meaning the illusion of, you know, what our own mind creates for us, because we have heaven or hell right here. But I thought about this about a month or so ago, and I need to write an article on it. We have specialty illusions, okay? We create our own illusions within the illusion, right? And we do that by, you know, what we've experienced in our life, but we try to maneuver and make things into the way we think they should be, when just maybe, think about this, the way you think it should be would do you more harm than good.
Yeah.
So, you know, so we really need to give up this whole idea of control. I mean, okay, so, and herein lies the rub on that one, okay? We are totally in control of everything in our life. But when I say give up the idea of control, I mean trying to make things into something that they're not.
Or forcing something, you know?
Yeah, it's like fitting that round peg into that square hole.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You know, lay it down, walk over to the pile, and pick up a round peg, right?
But you know, we get conditioned in our ways and in our belief systems, and you know, we think it's this way, and we're not sometimes open to a new way of being and a new way of perceiving, right? And because these beliefs have been going on for centuries, you know, thousands of years, and so it just takes a little bit of work on our part to let them go. And so and that's why sometimes we believe in lack and not even know it, because it's an old belief system, a generational belief system, a cultural belief system, you know. And so in our minds, we think we're fine. I believe in abundance. What are you talking about? You know, but that belief is playing in the background, right?
Well, here's okay. So let's talk for a minute about your levels of awareness. Okay, your levels of consciousness. So we have our subconscious mind, which are the things, like the program, the stuff that we've stored. That's like, I love the image that you'll see, and it's like an iceberg underneath the water, and then the tip of the iceberg on top. So the part of the iceberg that's under the water, that's our subconscious mind, because we're not aware of it, right? And then the top of the iceberg is our conscious mind, which is what we are consciously aware of, okay? So the levels of consciousness would be the subconscious and then our conscious mind. Then we have our collective consciousness, which the collective consciousness is, you know, like what we kind of believe as a whole, and so, you know, we are influenced by that if we allow it. And then we have our super consciousness, or our God consciousness. And here's the thing, if you can learn to tap yourself into that God consciousness, then it supersedes any of the other levels of consciousness. Okay, even your subconscious. And the reason I say that is, it's like a lot of people believe, well, that's in my DNA, that's why I'm that way. Well, no. Yes, it's there, but because you have dominion over every single speck of your energy, okay, you can change that.
Yeah,
and the way that you change it is through awareness and through becoming aware of the fact that that's what you're doing and that you're buying into it by choice. You know, it isn't the universe has this beautiful, wonderful system called choice and consequence. and it never fails.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what karma is, choice, consequence. You make a choice, you're going to have the consequences of that choice. And, of course, we make little tiny choices every single moment of every single day. So back to that, if you love yourself, if you're connected to your God self, then you're going to make good choices, right? So abundance, being abundant in life and not having a belief in lack means you're operating from, how do I say this? An easy way to put it. It's like you're choosing that. Okay, you know, like when you go on your computer and you choose to either log in with Firefox or Chrome or whatever, you know? So choose to log in with your God self. All right? And that's when you're going to have that's your easiest operating system.
Yes, that's true. And so how can we access our God self system? For me, it's through the heart and through the, the gratitude and the self-love, right?
Excuse me, I was taking a sip of water. Okay, well, different things will work at different times because here's the thing. We are human beings, right? And we are living in this here-now time-space reality, whatever you want to call it. You're living this life, and this is your conscious awareness, is this life, okay? So different things work for different people, but also different things work at different times. You know, like when I work with people, one of the first things I tell them is make a list of 25 things you can do when you become disconnected from your God self that will help you reconnect. Okay, sometimes for me, I'm taking life way too seriously, right? So I need to laugh. So I go on YouTube, and I have some different things that I like watching on YouTube that always make me laugh. Right? You cannot watch a baby giggling and laughing and not laugh yourself. I'm sorry, there's something wrong with you if that happens, right?
That's true. Yes.
So it's like you know what things bring you into the energy of gratitude, the energy of joy, the energy of peace, and it's different things. So make a list and have that list handy so you can grab it. It might be, like you said, it might be just walk outside and, you know, literally people laugh about tree huggers, but it might be for you, walk outside and hug a tree, you know? It might be kick your shoes off and just go plant your feet firmly on the ground, okay? It might be, you might have a song that, music is such a wonderful thing for bringing us into that space. You know, different songs bring up different emotions for me, right? Yeah. So you know what songs do that for you. You know, so have a list of songs and have a list of the songs and what emotions they bring for you and go and do that. Or it could be taking a hot bubble bath. I mean, it's just, you know, just have a list of things that when you're feeling disconnected and you're not feeling that self-love and you're not really liking the world. Now, you know, do one of those things. But I also want you to understand you're not going to be there 24/7. That's not why you're here. You're here to experience life. You're here to express and form. So if you were blissed out 24/7 and you weren't living life, then why would you be here?
You
right?
wouldn't. Yeah.
Right. So it's a matter of learning how to bring that joy into your everyday moments. And, you know, sometimes if you're just have some kind of negative thing going on, you might just need to sit with it, honor it, allow it, and let it, here's the key, let it move through you. It's not about denying it, but the important thing is not owning it. It's about letting it move through you.
Yes. Wow. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And yeah, absolutely. I love that, not denying it, because it is a part of who we are, right?
Of course.
And it's just energy, so just let the energy flow through you. And sometimes, you know, we all get those moments, right? So what I do, one of the things I do is I will call up my cousin, or I'll send her a WhatsApp message, like, can you please send a picture of Teddy? Teddy's her little boy. He's 1. And she will send a little video or a picture, and he's like the cutest little kid. Brings me so much joy, and it's not just me, the whole family. So it's beautiful.
Well, for you, that connects you to your heart space.
Yes, yes.
You know, because that's someone you love, you know. And it's, you know, it's like, I know that for me, it's like, you know, I love my son like nothing else, right?
Yeah.
So there's an exercise that I tell people to do with money, it's like when you go to open your bank account to look at the balance or whatever, only do that when you're feeling really good and you're just in a really loving, wonderful space, because that's the energetics that you're attaching to looking at your money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I sit before I open and look at my bank account. I always sit and think about some little loving memory story about my son.
Oh, nice.
And that really puts me in, so here's the thing. We're all different. We are all created different. You know, I go into Akashic Records, I do soul profiles, and all that is, it's like looking at that soul's energetics and how it's made up and the foundation when God first created it. And then we have all these lifetimes that we create all these other little energetic things that are attached to us, right? So we are all entirely, like snowflakes. We're all different. But because we're all divine, we're all connected in that sense, right?
Yeah.
So you are in and of yourself. You're your own little puzzle, right? So the more we learn about our own puzzle pieces and how to form the picture that we truly want, the easier it is for us to connect where we want to connect when we want to be there.
Yeah.
And here's, and don't, the thing is too, we think, I'm hand to God, I was totally guilty of this. I wouldn't understand why people didn't understand what I understood. I thought everybody thought and knew everything I thought and knew, but they don't. We've all had our own experiences. We've all, like wherever you are in your family, you might be the oldest child, you might be the middle child. I was the youngest. You might be the youngest child. And that all forms certain things within your life and your understanding and the way you experience things in this world. I really was so blessed growing up because I was the only girl and I was the only granddaughter.
Nice.
So I was spoiled a little bit, and I enjoyed it. I liked being the only girl. I know people who have sisters absolutely love their sisters. Maybe the last lifetime I had 10 sisters, so this time I got to just be the only female. But, so that's formed a lot, though, of me and my self-esteem and my self-confidence and how I felt about myself. So the same thing. So, where you are in your family, the jobs that you've had, the different things that you chose to do as a career, the people that you've dated, the person that you've married, or, if you're married, it's your friends. Every bit of that influences who you are and what you believe and how you feel about yourself. So I'm laughing because it just, I've said this my whole life, seriously. The only person you have to live with guaranteed your entire life is yourself.
Yeah.
So you better love yourself because you're the only one that's going to be with you start to finish.
So I think I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the call, but like I said, Sharon's going to be taking live caller questions. So you can hit *2 to raise your hand, or you can type in a question on the Q&A. I just realized, I don't know if I said that this time.
Yeah, and I love doing that, guys, by the way, because it's like, knowing what it is that you would like to hear from me really helps.
Yes, absolutely.
Helps me serve you better.
So now I can see myself going off on different tangents because when you were talking, it's like, I want to talk about this. It's like, okay, back. So let's talk about blocking abundance, right? Why do we block abundance? Because, I think if people are on the call, that's one of the things that they are curious about is, am I blocking abundance? Why am I blocking? Why would we want to? Why would we not want abundance to flow to us and through us, more even, right?
Well, because we create our own blocks, right? But the main reason we do it is we don't think we deserve it. And a lot of that, some of that comes from we built up ourselves. Some of it comes from the things we're taught, right, as kids, the things that we hear, the things that we listen to. there's no one thing that people pick and choose to block abundance with. But it mainly comes from, I think, a deserve issue.
Yeah.
Now, if we think that we separate it from God, and, of course, then why would we deserve anything good and wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
Because I say this, I'm hesitant to say this, but if you think about it, it's like somewhere in our psyche we think that we killed God, that God no longer exists. So if that's the case, then how could we deserve anything good?
Mm-hmm.
We have like this self-punishment thing going on. So when you're working on self-love, you are actually removing blocks. And you don't even need to necessarily know what they are or where they come from. Sometimes that helps, because I totally believe that when we recognize something, then it's much easier to heal it.
Yeah.
But if you will work on self-love first and foremost, then some of that will just go away naturally without you even having to look at and deal with it. Seriously, if you could wake up in this moment and be willing to say, okay, so I am a child of God. I do deserve everything that I want and desire in life. So I love myself. I forgive myself. I'm doing the best I can. I'm working on being the best version of me. I mean, right there in that moment, you release a ton of stuff that you've been, dragging along with you and not even realizing it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, one of the things that I strongly believe in, and this is why I brought it up at the beginning of the call too, was, this is a healing circle. So as you are receiving energies, receiving love, send that out as well. So, because for me, and, from what I believe, that when you're sending out love to your loved ones, community, the world, you're also receiving. But sometimes we forget to see ourselves actually receiving it. We're always in the process of giving, and we're never receiving for ourselves. So one of the things I teach is to also see yourself receiving it, accept that love and abundance.
And pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there, but it's like you have to pay attention to what the universe sends you.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, what you need and want is right in front of you. So the way that you bring it here into this physical world is to take action on whatever the universe brings you and shows you and sends you. And, it's just like in this moment, allowing yourself to receive what you're hearing, like Alara said, that's action. That is an action. Making a decision is an action. A lot of times people think action thinks an actual doing of something, but it's not. It doesn't have to be that. So yes, you have to receive it, but you have to pay attention, because the universe is always helping guide you to what it is that you're telling the universe that you want.
Absolutely. It's responding to you and your desires and your wishes based on what you say verbally, what your energy is sending out, and so on. Oh, my goodness.
Right.
Yeah. I
always say, the universe, and this is really important. If y'all don't walk away from anything else from this call today, write this down, because it's one of my sayings, and it's so true. The universe responds. It does not dictate.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, the universe responds. It does not dictate. Absolutely.
Correct.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have some questions, Sharon, that have come in. Let me just refresh. Okay. So I have a question from Nellie, and Nellie, I'm assuming it's a she. You're a she. And she's asking, how do I align myself with love and abundance? So I think we kind of talked about that, but is there anything else you would like to add to that for Nellie?
Okay, well, so here's, it's interesting what popped in my head. Of course, there's not an easy answer to that. There is no, magic pill you can take or easy button you can pop. But the most important thing is there's something, read the way she worded it again.
How do I align myself with love and abundance?
Intend it. Okay, I'm sorry, that just popped out. So first of all, your intention has to be that is first and foremost what you're seeking and want in your life. one of my, I'm supposed to tell this story, so I will. I pay attention to my guides and whatever comes in. All right, so there's a story that's, and even in indigenous cultures use it, and it's called the two-headed wolf. Mm-hmm. And you may have heard it, but if so, just listen with an open mind and an open heart again, right? But there's a grandfather and grandson are having a talk. And the grandfather tells the grandson, within all of us, we have a two-headed wolf. One of the heads talks to us about all the wonderful things, everything that we can do, everything that is available to us, our unlimited potential. The other head speaks to us of why you can't do it, what's wrong, everything negative and bad in your life. And the grandson looks at the grandfather and he says, which one wins? And the grandfather says, the one that you feed. Mm-hmm. So I take that a step further, and because I want people to understand it's not only when you're feeding one of the heads are you teaching yourself that that's what you want in life. Okay, if you're trying to get rid of the negative head, right? Mm-hmm. You're not paying attention to the good one. We spend so much time, focus, and attention on what we don't want and trying to get rid of what we don't want. We are actually ignoring what we do want. Yeah. And so our energy is feeding what we don't want. Yeah. Rather than feeding what we do want. So
ironic, isn't it?
Right. But I hope that helps. That's what I was led to share with Nellie. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. So Nellie, as Sharon says, intend to align yourself with love and abundance. And so, you're going to have the affirmation. You can just affirm every day, that I now align myself with love and abundance. And as you do something like that, see what shows up. Because like Sharon said, the universe is responding, right? So as you state something like that, as you affirm that, the universe is going to respond to you. So hope that helps. And then someone else is asking, just check quickly here. There's no name this time, so we'll just have to go with it. Just questions. How do we recognize our blocks? How do we clear them? And where does manifesting really happen?
Okay, so let's address those one at a time. Mm-hmm. Tell me the first one.
How do we recognize our blocks?
Okay, well, you recognize your blocks by, I'm trying to think of an easy way to put this because that's really a very complicated, lifetime study of looking at that. But basically, once you recognize it, it's gone, right? Because you've allowed yourself to see it. So what you have to start looking at is the things you're not looking at. And what I mean by that is start paying attention to where you're not paying attention. Do you understand what I mean by that?
I do, and I'm trying to see how that fits into my life. What am I not paying attention to,
Right, because we will pick and choose to fix things that are the easiest to fix.
Right, yes.
Right, and we're doing that because it's the easiest thing to fix, and we think it's going to be hard and cumbersome. And plus we love our little miscreations. We're invested in what we create, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, so it's learning how to look at what you're not looking at. Okay, now what was the second part of the question?
The second one was, how do we clear them?
Well, it depends on what you find and where it is.
Yeah.
So the way you clear blocks is by, once you recognize it, you're not. Okay, it's like if I told you, okay, so when there's a chair, and if I said to you, okay, if you sit in that chair, you're going to slip and fall out because it's tilted a way that your butt slides down, then, that's going to happen. You're not going to do it again. Once you do it and you recognize it and you see it, and that's what's going to happen, you're not going to do it anymore. Mm-hmm. So basically, that's how you're going to clear it. And there's other things you can do. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people in this world. That's what they do is they energetically. I do some of that work. I help you figure out how to see where the energy is and then how to shift it, because it really always is going back from your ego energy into your God self. By the way, A Course in Miracles, the miracle is when you catch yourself in ego mind and you shift back over into your God mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what was the last part of that?
Where does manifesting really happen?
Within you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not outside of yourself. It's not something outside of yourself. And, you know, it's kind of interesting because we do create everything within our life, right? And, you know, we talked about how the universe does respond. So manifesting really is a combination of every part of you. Remember, every one of us is mind, body, and soul. And all three parts of those that make up us, every single one of those, your mind, your body, and your soul, has something to do with your manifesting process. And manifesting is what you bring in, what you create, okay? Mm-hmm. So the more you know and come to fully understand yourself on all three levels, the better you are at manifesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and have ease in all three areas, you know, the mind, the body, and the soul.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Without having resistance to something. Hold on, I'm reading a question that just came in. So
okay.
Hopefully that helps about the recognizing blocks, how we clear them, and where does manifesting really happen. It happens within, like Sharon said. And it's a holistic approach, mind, body, and soul. Okay, hold on. So I'm having a question from Alicia in Montana. And the question...
Guys, you can call in and talk live, you know. Because then that way you can, if I say something that doesn't make sense or that you want to dig further, we can do that. Just saying. Just saying. It's easy to type a question and then, you know, sit and you expect I'm going to know what you want, but...
Exactly. So you can hit star 2 to raise your hand, and you can actually talk to Sharon and I. All right. So this is from Alicia in Montana, and she says, I believe I deserve abundance, for the lack of it has put me through strain and disdain. I'm used to having a lot of the best things, and now I'm being shamed and blamed for not being able to hold on to them. Do you have any idea why this conflict persists? I have spent a lot of time trying to reconstruct and regain. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, you know, it's kind of interesting, and that made me think about, you know, how the old thing about how lottery winners will not have their money a year later because they weren't a vibrational match for that money, right. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, and a lot of being a vibrational, and, you know, the level that you vibrate at, your level of understanding, you know, whatever that is, however you see that, or, you know, whatever that means for you, you will not allow yourself to go further than that until you learn how to, this is interesting, I'm being told to explain it like a muscle, like as you build a muscle, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes what happens when we get to a point, we reach a certain level of abundance, we're uncomfortable with it. And, you know, abundance, by the way, doesn't just mean money, guys, okay? Abundance means being abundant, means being completely full, understanding the unlimitedness in everything within your life, okay? A lot of people, we tend to put abundance towards money, but so if you have, you know, a ton of money, and there are a lot of people with a ton of money that just aren't really nice people, we know that, but they're miserable in other parts of their life, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time. And then you have wonderful people who are abundant and all, and they're the ones who really get it, meaning they get why we're here, what to do, and they just totally enjoy life to the fullest. But but back to, okay, like it's like building a muscle, and if you don't use that muscle, it atrophies, right? So think about it. If you build yourself up to a certain level of abundance, and then maybe instead of continuing to expand and grow, you don't, then maybe you're I've never thought about this before. So maybe you're dropping yourself back down to the level where you have to work and build and structure it again because that's something that you want to experience, that constant growth and expansion. So maybe the important lesson here that you drew to yourself, because by the way, we draw all lessons to ourselves, is to always make sure that you put yourself into whatever you're doing in, business, your career, whatever, is that you're always in a place, in a space that you are giving yourself the opportunity to expand and grow and not become complacent.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a real easy way for your soul to smack you with a 2x4 to say, okay, so we're not growing, so let's just drop back down so we can grow back up again, and basically doing the same thing all over again.
Right. Yes. Interesting. And yes, that can I can definitely see that happening.
Right, and it happens a lot. I see it with a lot of people. There are a lot of people who, there are people who are millionaires that just all of a sudden lose everything, and then they're like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
And then they go back to the rebuilding process.
Yeah. Rebuild. Interesting. I'm trying to see, that's an interesting, because it kind of gets you back into the creative mode, and having more energy and excitement, in a good way and in a stressful way. Sometimes that's what we need to.
Well, some people are addicted to drama too,
Yes. Oh, I do.
There are those people in the world, I'm not saying that about the caller, by the way, not in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying we all know those people in our lives, right? And
yeah.
so, and maybe they could find a good way to, create good drama,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It
makes them feel alive, some people feel alive when they're struggling.
Exactly. Yeah. So hopefully that helps, Alicia. We're going to go to the phone line.
Yay, a live person.
And phone number ending in 7415. 7415. I'm going to unmute you. Hello.
Hey, everyone. This is Jamie. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
I can
Jamie.
hear you fine.
Hey, how are you? So Alara probably remembers me asking a somewhat similar question yesterday, but this is slightly different. And she probably also remembers me talking a lot how recently I've realized that I've picked up this notion that I am completely unworthy, and I had this, gut-wrenchingly sad conversation with a life coach.
Oh, my goodness, you're a human being.
Oh, I know.
We all have unworthiness issues, honey. You're not the only one, okay? So.
Sometimes I envy robots. I'm just like, dang, you're so lucky. But yeah,
but no, they're not, because they can't eat chocolate.
Oh,
right?
Okay, there you go.
A robot can't taste chocolate, right? Okay, there's nothing bad about chocolate, right?
Perspective. Such perspective.
So what did you not get? So if you asked the question yesterday and you're back to ask it, there's something you feel like you didn't get the answer to.
Different. No, it's a little different given what you were saying, because I plod through my brain somewhat slowly, and so I sometimes come to realizations a little past a little beyond the point when when something first came up. But I know that I need to kind of deal with some shadow work and some aspects of myself that are scary and upsetting. And then when you said, that when a lot of times when you look so hard on abolishing that negative wolf, then you kind of ignore the positive wolf. So how can I sort of make sure that while I'm still paying attention to the shadowy parts and the scary parts, I'm also focusing on light? Because I admit before this call, I thought I just needed to deal with the shadow work exclusively.
Okay, so everything in life is about balance.
Yeah.
And I see that constantly. It's not an either or world, it's an and world. I have an ampersand on my wall in my office because of that. But here's the thing I want people to really truly understand. I'm not a big proponent of like really digging in and doing a ton of shadow work, because all the darkness is only somewhere light has not been shown. Okay?
Okay.
So in my world, if you work on shining the light, then the darkness goes away. Okay? Which is a whole different perspective than I hear you say that you the way you live your life and work in your stuff, okay? But if you think about what I said about the two-headed wolf, right? You're feeding the dark. So look, who says you have to dig in and play with what's dark and bad and awful about you? That's not the truth of you. The truth of you is that you are a whole, complete, loving child of God who lacked nothing. That is your truth, okay? If you are an extension of God, if God, total unconditional love, extended itself and created you, any of the other stuff you created via your free will. Well, guess what? Via that free will, you can also just let it go.
Okay.
It really is that simple. I know it sounds simple. It really is that simple. However, we like our drama, right?
It's powerful.
There's nothing dramatic about doing that.
No, I mean, I have to agree with Sharon. Focus on the positive. Absolutely. Feed the good wolf, or I forget what the terms were. But, when something does come up, then deal with it. Don't go looking for something to heal or something to clear. Don't go looking for it. But if something comes up in your face, then deal with it then. But focus on feeding the good wolf.
Here's the trouble, I think, that's confusing me, is that there is something that, came up and that, it's always been there, but it's something that, happened to me when I was younger, and something that I carry a lot of shame and sadness with me, and it's the thing that I was kind of ignoring.
But let me ask you this. What if that was the very thing your soul needed to become whole again?
I cannot imagine sexual abuse would be that. I can't see an arena where, being abused as a child could ever possibly.
Well, no, not as a child. No, I agree with you there.
That's the thing. Like, this is the thing that the thing that I'm not looking at, that I sort of am.
Oh, okay. I just got it for you, honey. Okay, so here's what you're playing with. Okay. You have to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's what you're dealing with. You have to forgive yourself, because there's some part of you that thinks it's funny. It's just the opposite of what I started saying. Okay, so there's a part of you, and there's always a part. But like I said, to make your soul whole again would be the complete circle of that. Would be to forgive yourself, because you weren't responsible for it. You were a child.
Right.
And a child is supposed to be loved and protected by their adults, parents, even any other adults, right? So an adult that goes over that line, then they're creating that negative karma for themselves that they're going to play out, believe me, sometime in some lifetime, right? But because as the child, there's a part of you that feels responsible for it, and that you, quote unquote, you're an adult now dealing with understanding responsibility. You're responsible for yourself, or free will, all of that stuff.
Right.
But when you're a child, you're not, okay? So you're trying to look at it from the adult mind perspective and heal the child mind perspective, and it's not the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So if you can allow yourself to think of it as the child that you were, and feeling that responsibleness, I mean, have you forgiven the person? Yes or no? Question.
I don't think so.
Okay, so before you can forgive them, you have to forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you follow me?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
because if you were going to say yes, I forgave him, I would have said, well, you can't do that without forgiving yourself first. So that's the only thing that you. I'm sorry, what?
I mean, of course, I was just saying it's a little complicated, because it was like a peer, so the ages were similar, but I think that I need to take it one step further too, because I think I'm not forgiven. I don't know that I haven't forgiven myself. I'm not entirely sure if I've forgiven like the adults in charge who weren't around or weren't available or weren't paying attention. See, all those words sound like I'm blaming them, and I kind of hate to do that.
No. All it is, it's just, but here's the thing. If it's there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you do, you have to acknowledge and own it before you can heal it, right? So if you can sit and say, okay, I'm pissed. I blame them. They should have been watching. That would have never happened if they were there. Who else am I pissed off at? You follow me? And
and that's kind of like something I avoided.
Digging, quote unquote, digging when you're trying to heal stuff comes up as, and when you come completely through it all, then they will all be forgiven and you will be forgiven. Now, here's something really important. Forgiveness does not mean condoning someone's behavior.
Right.
We think that forgiving, all it means is that the God within you can see the God within them, because remember I said it's always either love or a call for love, right?
Right.
That their action was out of a call for love, meaning they didn't understand themselves and how they were connected to all others, right? So when you go through all of this and you sit and you can sit within the God within you and see it from that perspective, every bit of that will go away.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. No, it does. It makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, because here's the thing, what I don't hear from you, because I would have said, well, maybe you need to go sit in therapy for months and work through it. And sometimes people do, but I don't hear that kind of damage within you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. And I've spent like a lot of time it sounds really pedantic and kind of pretentious, but I've spent a lot of time like in my head working through stuff. And because of that, I'm definitely lucky because I haven't shied away from things completely. You know, I haven't avoided it completely. I've always tossed it in my head. And I have definitely relied on, therapists and life coaches and tarot card readers and, people that I sensed could help me on the path. It's like I don't do it all by myself, but, I'm definitely not afraid to delve into some serious stuff.
Your last piece.
And I'm
your last piece of the puzzle. Yeah, the last piece of your puzzle, Jamie, is the forgiveness piece. Because that's what brings it home, honey.
The hardest part.
I know.
It is hard. It's not easy.
I'm sorry, but that is what brings it home. You know what I mean? You've ran the bases, right? You're in the home stretch. So when you slide in the home base.
Yep.
I hope that helps.
That's thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm glad you came on and asked that question because you're right. It's totally different than yesterday. So good.
And I'm sure you helped a lot of people too.
For sure.
I hope so, because it's damn hard to talk about, and I certainly don't talk about it a lot. It's not like I'm one of those people that just blurts it out all the time. So it is hard, but I do hope that it's
No, you're not. You're not looking for sympathy. You're not looking for anything other than this is what I hear within you, and I could be wrong, but I hear within it's like, okay, I got this, I understand this, now I want to be fucking done with it.
Yes, exactly, because it's kind of like I've done enough with, like you said, with the darkness thing, and now it's time to throw some light on it because, I hope that by talking about it to the quote unquote right people, that it does help throw some light on it for me and also for others, because we're definitely not alone.
No, definitely not alone.
Absolutely. Thank you for being so brave. Thank you for being so brave. Like I said, I'm sure it helped many people, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for
Jamie.
thank you for holding space for me too.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. And you've just inspired me to create an MP3 around forgiveness. I think it's really necessary. So I will create something.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Oh, good. Okay, wonderful. So I just wanted to really just let you know, Sharon, that I received feedback from Nellie as well, saying thank you so much. That when we talked about aligning myself with Live in Abundance and that whole conversation, she said that helped a lot. And Alicia in Montana, she said that she received a great explanation from you, and she said, I kept the abundance for a while. Now there is the shock, and I have no choice but to rebuild. It's a big lesson, so thank you. So that's
see,
great.
now you don't have to do it again, Alicia.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go back to the questions in just a moment, but I wanted to briefly take a moment to talk about, hopefully you all have downloaded Sharon's bonus gift from the Happiness Kit. It's the 30 Days to Greater Awareness or Abundance Mindset 30-Day Journal Guide. And I think, Jamie, I think you'll find this really helpful as well, so there's some great concepts, some great messages in here, and it's about journaling or taking time to reflect on the messages that Sharon has shared with us to really open you up to having that abundance mindset so that we can have more.
Well, and shining the light on yourself, too. That's really important. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, why am I talking about this, Sharon? I should have asked you. Can you talk a little bit more about the?
No, you're fine. It's like, yeah, it is. It's like just a little, like there's spaces where you write about it, but it's basically a concept to think about. It's for 30 days now, which really takes you beyond what you need to. Here's what I want you guys to understand. It's like, okay, so one of the things I do, and Laura knows this because she's done a session with me before, is I send people a 21-day prayer to anchor the work that we do, okay? And that's because you have to bring your subconscious ego in this world mind on board with whatever it is you do when you do the spiritual work type thing, right? So if you focus on 30 days of really reflecting on spiritual concepts and what they mean for you and how they're showing up in your life, then you're spending 30 days shining light, and that just helps magnify and intensify the light that you have in your life.
Mm-hmm. And you're feeding the good wolf.
That's right. You're feeding the good head.
So take a look at that. It's in the Happiness Kit. I'll put it in the replay email later today. And, of course, Sharon has a special offer for us that she is sharing with us, which is available at awakentohappinessnow.com/Sharon12. Or if you're on the live page, you can just click on special offer. And this is a abundance bundle. So there's 3 packages in one. So, Sharon, you want to talk about that?
Well, I want to tell you guys right now, I don't want you to get overwhelmed when you purchase this because it's a lot of information. Because first I did Divine Money Path Principles, and that's something that you will use over and over again, hopefully, in your life. Because, as you grow and expand and become a different person, then you want to go back and listen to it from that new mindset. And it has exercises for you to do. So you want to go back and do it from where you are, from your growth, if that makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of good information. It is also a workbook and exercises for you to do, and that's Divine Money Path Principles. And then I also included my Claim Your Divine Money Power. And if you go on and look at it, it'll explain what the 5 different classes there are. And it's there again, it's something that you'll probably go back and listen to. Everything I would suggest making a folder on your computer and then downloading everything into that folder so that you have it there, and you can, and you could even put it on your, like your iPad, your iPhone, whatever, so that you could listen to it when you just feel like you need to, listen to something inspirational. And because here's what I try to do when I create programs and stuff is I try to make it very informative but also inspirational. And a lot of times you might not really understand the energetics that goes behind and with the words, and that's okay. It's kind of like you're getting it subliminally. I'm laughing because I thought about the whole thing with on Saturday Night Live when they used to do the thing with all the subliminal messages. But it's not subliminal that I, put anything into that other than the fact that it is connected with that divine source energy, okay? And then I included, what was the third thing I put in there?
Visioning Abundance booklet.
Visioning Abundance. Right, and that's like a report, and again, exercises for you to do to help you look at the things that you really do want, so that you know what it is that you really do want to focus on.
Mhm.
And I put all of those together, and normally I used to sell each program. Well, the Divine Money Path Principles and the Claim Your Divine Money Power were $397 each, and then the Abundance, Visioning Abundance is like I sell for like $97, so that's like what, 4-8. That's like about $1,000 worth of stuff for $97.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So definitely take a look at that. Alicia, you might you might want that for sure because of what you're going through with your finances and so on. So definitely take a look at that. That's available at awakentohappinessnow.com/Sharon12. So thank you, Sharon, for that.
And if nothing else, at least go get the free my free offer in the happiness kit.
Yep.
You know, because that 30 days abundance is it's like really it will help change your attitude and your feelings about yourself. And we're talking today all about self-love, and your attitude about yourself is what creates everything that you do and have in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely. Just seeing if there were any more questions coming up. So I have, let me see, one last question from Kamika, I guess it is. And she says, I've been spending so much time trying to get help because I have been at such a level of discomfort. Why can't I take steps forward in terms of finances? After all, it's not human not to be in the flow. Too many years of trying causes frustration and lack of confidence. How to tap in again? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me what the very beginning of that was. What's the very first thing she said?
She said, I've been spending so much time trying to get help because I've been at such a level of discomfort.
Okay, so I'm not sure what the level of discomfort means. It's like if you're uncomfortable working on yourself, looking within yourself. Here's one thing I did discover early on when I first started in my own business and doing my own thing. I just did straight up like healing sessions, and it's a joke. I'd jump in the maze with people with the ego, and we'd run around and try to find where the cheese was, what it was that you needed to fix, right? Mm-hmm. But what I discovered when I was doing that is like there were a lot of people who would not want to do sessions with me because they were scared to death that they were going to find something within them that was so horrible and awful and dark and yucky, and it's like, oh my God, I think about that. I think it's a Zycam commercial where the snot monster's chasing the woman down the street. And that's what we think is inside of us. But I promise you guys, nothing is further from the truth. Okay, mm-hmm. What the truth about you? If you could just see the beauty and the potential and the unlimited creating and just it's just such a marvelous. There's just no words for it. That total unconditional love energy that you truly are. Mm-hmm. Going within and looking at healing the stuff that releasing and letting go of the stuff you need to let go of is just anything that's not that. Okay, and it's nothing to be afraid of. That's another thing. Course teaches us there's only two emotions. There's love and there's fear. So mm-hmm. If you're not loving yourself, what are you afraid of? Where does the fear come from? There's nothing to fear. The beginning of A Course in Miracles says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And then it takes 800 pages to explain what that means. So okay, but think about that. Nothing real can be threatened. The truth of you cannot be threatened. Nothing can ever take that away, mm-hmm. ever, right? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Anything other than the truth, the beauty of who you are, it does not really exist. and herein lies the peace of God. So when you get that, then you can live your life in peace, love, joy, and abundance.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. And, and you are, I keep getting messages from my guidance, and they're so strongly, passionately telling me all the time, to share the message that, you are divine, you are love, you are perfect as you are. We tend to go to the judgment of ourselves instead of acknowledging and recognizing how wonderful we are, what wonderful gifts and capacities and abilities we have. Focus on that, feed that wolf,
Right, exactly.
Feed that wolf. Why feed the other one, right? And the more that you feed this one, of being, you're so loving and loved and divine and perfect as you are, things will start to change. Things will start to shift. Okay? So hopefully that helps you, Kamika. And we're going to go to the phone lines for one last question. Phone number ending in 2305. 2305. I'm going to unmute you. Hello? Hello?
Hi, is this
Hi.
me?
Yes, it's
you.
Yeah, Maria? Or, because I hear another voice.
It's Sharon and Alara.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry, Sharon.
That's okay.
Okay, I wrote in my question, finally, hey, Alara, this is Maria from Philoc.
Hi, Maria, how are you?
Hi. You see a German number because I'm calling from the company and it's in Germany.
Ah, okay,
Germany.
Perfect.
Okay, so my question to Sharon, I've been doing so much of work for the last 5 years, sessions and hundreds of sessions, I've also spoken to you. So what's stopping me from loving myself?
So are you telling me you don't love yourself?
Well, that's what I've been told because my biggest,
I don't want to know what people told you. I want to know what you feel.
My biggest block is that I've been wanting to get pregnant and have children, and it's not happening. And my story is like a perfect match to Jamie. Just that when I was a young adult, I've had a few abortions because of abusive relationships, and then I met my husband, and I'm like, okay, this is the right person and everything. And then we've been trying for years, and it's not happening. And so I have all this blame and shame and guilt and regret.
Is there a physical reason?
Not really.
Okay, so you've both been tested.
But they're both okay. I have endometriosis, and I've done a lot of work to clear all this sexual abuse and all these memories and victimness and everything.
Okay, the biggest thing that I feel, okay, and I it's interesting because I had this with someone else before. It's like you need to, so you have to figure out what is it that, if you had a child, what do you think that would fulfill for you that you don't have within yourself now?
Yeah, exactly, that I have to mother myself, and that's exactly my question. So how am I not doing that?
But you didn't answer Sharon's question.
Yeah, that's it. No? Okay, let me think again. So what is it going to fulfill in me? Being a mother, nurturing.
So are you nurturing yourself right now, right, Sharon?
Yeah, exactly. I am. And I'm not trying to trick the universe.
No,
Say, I'm nurturing me now, and now I have to get what I want. But I'm just like mind boggled, puzzled, and confused. And I'm like, my God, how much of work should I have to do? Shadow work.
No, that's the problem is you don't have to do any work. You just have to relax, okay? So here's the thing. It's like I'm nurturing myself, but I'm not fulfilled because I'm nurturing myself because I want to have a baby. You can't have those two connected. Do you follow me?
I don't know if it's connected. I'm telling myself don't do that. My mind is saying don't trick the universe.
Yeah, I understand. but some way, shape, or form, that's what you're doing. And I'll share my story with you. Okay, so when I tried to get pregnant, and I didn't. And I mean, I took like hormone therapy, and it made me absolutely freaking crazy. I was chewing people's heads off and spitting them out. And this was back when I was in my late 20s, right? And so I just quit. I just said, okay, if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, right? And I owned my first business. I was 28, because I had my son when I was 29. So I was 28, and I owned an employment agency. And my partner had a guy that I used to work with. He had a temporary agency. And I was working for an employment agency, so I went to him and I said, why don't you put permanent placement in? And he goes, well, I don't know anything about that. And I said, well, then why don't we become partners? So we did, all right? So long story short, I wasn't ready to be that person. And that's another thing. You have to be ready to be that person. I thought I was ready to be that person, but I didn't want everything that came along with it, right? So something happened, and I wasn't happy, and I only did this for like 4 or 5 months, and we made like really good money, which a brand new business, that's really unheard of. But I think that scared me too. But anyway, so I went to him and I said, I'm not happy. This isn't working, so buy me out. And so he said, okay, well, what do you want? And I said, well, I don't know. So I went home. I'm laughing at myself because I didn't even understand the law of attraction or anything back then, all right? So I went home and I figured out what it would cost to pay off all my bills and then have a little extra money so I wouldn't have to work for a little bit. And so I made up something that came to that amount, and I went to him and I said, this is what I want. And so he said, well, I don't have this much right now. And I said, well, okay, well, let's do a payment plan. He was like, okay, fine. So long story short, so I got that money. Well, once I did, and I had paid off all my bills, and I wasn't working, and I wasn't thinking about getting pregnant, I got pregnant. So to know what that whole disconnection was, for me, what it was the stress of trying to prove myself at work, right? And also the financial obligation, right? Because you bring a child in and you're bringing in the financial obligations, evidently that played a part in it too. And this was all in my subconscious mind. I didn't know all this because, like I said, back then I didn't understand any of this or any of the law of attraction. So it's like when I quit trying and when I just started looking at making my life more pleasant and easier, that's when it happened.
Okay.
So I hear a lot, and like I hear this desperation, and I'm trying this, and I'm trying that, and I'm doing this, and I'm trying that. Give yourself a break. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not desperate anymore. Right now, I don't want it anymore, and I want to be okay for not wanting it.
Okay, but I think you're saying that I want to be okay with it, I want to accept it, then you're still searching for it, so just be with it, right?
It's about, you really, I just keep hearing over and over to tell you to relax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does, and I'm going to look up your website and see if I can get like a reading from you, because I know that you do Akasha.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll make you an offer. Email me, and I'll do a special deal for you since you found it through Alara.
Thank you so much.
Info at SharonHess.com.
Info at SharonHess.com. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll offer that to anybody else who's listening. If you email me, if you want to do something with me personally, email me, and I'll come up with a special offer since it's through Alara.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hopefully that helps.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Listen, all of you guys who call in and send questions, that's brave. I know how brave it is.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Maria.
I mean, I get that. So thank you for doing that. And I hope you have a fabulous day because I know you're at work.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a test
great.
engineer, so I'm in the lab, and I hope it's not too noisy for you guys.
Oh,
okay.
No, it's fine.
That's great.
No. What part of Germany are you in?
Munich, the headquarters of my company. It's called Infineon. We make microchips.
Nice. Yeah, I have relatives in Europe. My mother was from Belgium, so I have a
Oh,
cousin who lives in Vernham, so
wow.
but she's closer to Berlin, I think. So
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
I was
Perfect.
in Munich in December, wasn't I? I think end of November, November,
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that.
Alora, you're still supposed to come to Philok to ski. Sorry.
Well, I'll do the après ski, okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or at
sounds
least
good.
just come to visit, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I will.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
you have so many wonderful callers, Laura.
Thank you.
This has been fun.
It is fun, absolutely. So sweet. So yeah, wow. Thank you, Maria, for calling in, because it just made it much more. Sharon was able to give you more information than she could have with just the sent-in question. So I'm glad you called in.
Sometimes you have to dig a little, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So let me just check and see where we're at. I know we've gone over, and it's like, but it was fun. There was so much stuff that we covered on today's call.
I know, huh?
It's like, wow. So much stuff. Like, amazing. So
yeah. So you guys be sure that you get that you buy the recordings from Laura, because the thing is, this is stuff you're going to want to go back and listen to over and over again, also.
Oh yeah, there was so much information, and and get the happiness kit and get Sharon's free gift that's there, and take a look at Sharon's special offer at awakentohappinessnow.com/Sharon12. Wow, this is this is so much fun. I learned so much too. It's like, wow.
It doesn't seem like it's been an hour and a half, does it?
Yeah, I know, right? Really, it's like, wow. But I can tell my voice is going. So, Sharon, did you have any other last words of wisdom for us?
I could talk for hours, but but I guess like the most important thing is just remember that when you focus on loving yourself and connecting to your God self, you help the entire world.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And we talked about which wolf are you feeding, right? So feed the one that is uplifting and inspiring and helps you to have more love for yourself. Feed that wolf,
Right.
And forgiveness. Forgive yourself, for anything.
You bring it all home with forgiveness, right?
Yep, that's a big one, big, huge one. I'm definitely going to do something around that. That's a big one. So thank you. Whew, well, thank you so much, Sharon. This is so much. It's always so much fun talking to you. I just love it. So thank you.
My
thank
pleasure.
You. All the callers who called in, everybody who submitted questions on the Q&A, thank you so much. And as we close this Radiant Light Healing Circle, please come back into your heart space. Feel that love and bliss and oneness and joy, and feel that support that we are sending out to you now. Me and my guides, we're sending you blessings, we're sending you love, and we're sending you energetic support. So may you be filled with this love, filled with all of these supportive energies to help you to have that self-love for yourself, to really receive the abundance that is always flowing within and around you all the time. So until next time, may you continue to live your life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Bye for now.